a yoga for strength class, so it's going to be a real solid body weight workout where we're going to move fluidly, move with our breath, and have lots of fun and build nice, strong, robust bodies. So when you're ready, you're going to meet me in a hands and knees positions, and we're going to warm up the wrists because we're going to spend a lot of time on them today, building nice big strength. So when you're ready, hands and knees position. So we're just going to start with our shoulders stacked over our hands, hips stacked over our knees, and we're going to make figure 8 circles. So spread your fingers nice and wide, push into the index finger and the thumb, and then you're going to come over the left hand, pushing into the index finger and the thumb, round the body over to the right, and then sink your hips down into the left of your left foot, roll over to your left ankle, right ankle, and then come back up and around. So just making figure 8 going left to right. And we'll just do 3 on each side. And then from there, we're going to sink the hips and we're going to roll from right to left. Coming over that right hand, pushing into the ground, having a gentle dome in the upper back. And I'm just going to open up the hips a little bit and open up the fingers, the shoulders, and most importantly, the wrists. Coming over the right hand, come into a neutral position, but the shoulders are shifted over the hands, and we're just going to push into the base of the hands, bring that navel to the spine, and just shift the weight forward and keep pushing into the ground. Gentle protraction of the upper back, and then we'll shift our weight back. And then from there, we're going to bring our knees forward, come to a sort of center position of your mat, just shake out the hands. So you can either have your feet tucked under, or you can come onto the tops of your feet, whatever position you choose. We're just going to cross our arms in front of our chest, and we're just going to lean our body back, keeping the torso nice and level, and then bring your body back up by pushing into the ground with the tops of your feet or your feet, squeezing the glutes and the thighs, and we'll just lower down. There's 2, come down as low as feels good for you. And there's 3, back up. 4, you might start finding that you can come down a little bit lower, and we're just building some strength in the legs. 5, come back up. Now if your toes are untucked, tuck your toes, and we're just going to roll over the feet, coming into your deep squat. You can place your hands down if it's not so easy for you to roll over. You're going to take a gentle squat by pulling the triceps into the knees into the triceps, and just lengthening through the back, bringing the crown of the head to the roof. And from there, we're just going to place the hands down, push into the feet, straighten the legs, and you can bring that chin to your chest. I'm just going to stretch through the upper and lower back, releasing the calves and the hamstrings. And from there, we're going to step back and step forward into our downward facing dog. So eyes of the elbows spin forward, push into the ground, and now I'm going to have my hands at the front of my mat. I sort of recommend having the same sort of thing, so the legs are a little bit further away from the back than normal, and you want the hands right at the front. Bring the eyes of the elbows towards each other to the best of your ability, so facing is perfectly fine. Push into the ground in your downward facing dog, and from there we're going to drop the elbows down, coming into your dolphin pose. Brief pause, push into the hands at the same time, rising up into your downward facing dog, and then from there we're going to shift forward into our high plank, and then you can start walking the feet back, keeping the core engaged, and coming down into your forearm plank. And from there, and hold this briefly, we're going to push into the hands at the same time, rising up into your extended plank. And this is why we had the hands at the front of the mat. You get the same thing, core engaged, glutes squeezed and tucked. Walk forward into your high plank, bend the elbows at the same time, coming into your low plank, turn over the toes, push into the ground, bring your chest up and through into your upward facing dog, shoulders down the back, and roll over the toes and come into your downward facing dog. So there it is. That's the sequence we're going to be following for a few rounds. So when we're ready, I'm just going to call out the poses and you move with your breath. So when you're ready, you drop down into dolphin. Inhale back up to downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward into your high plank. Exhale, walk your feet back and drop your elbows down at the same time, coming into your forearm plank. Inhale, elbows up, extended plank. Inhale, walk forward, high plank. Inhale down into low plank. Exhale in each position, turn over the toes. Inhale, push up into your upward facing dog. Exhale, and inhale, roll back into downward facing dog. So we've got at least 3 more of these to go. Down into the dolphin. Downward facing dog, roll forward plank, walk back, forearm plank, push into the elbows, extended plank, lots of plank, roll forward, high plank, exhale, low plank or chaturanga, untuck the toes, inhale, upward facing dog, squeeze in your glutes, back line engaged. Exhale, roll back, downward facing dog. Inhale, dolphin. Inhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Walk the feet back, drop the elbows. Forearm plank. Hands at the same time. Extended plank. Walking forward, high plank. Chaturanga halfway, untuck the toes, up dog, roll back, down dog, down to dolphin, up to down dog, roll forward to plank, walk the feet back, forearm plank, extended plank, coming forward, plank. There's lots of planks today. As I said, we're going to spend a lot of time on the wrists, so that's a good thing to warm them up. Coming into your up dog and then roll back, downward facing dog. So we're working into our triceps, building strength all over the upper arms and the chest. I'm going to do one more, so we'll drop down into our down dog, dolphin, push into the hands, down dog, rolling forward into your plank. Walk the feet back, drop the elbows at the same time. Forearm plank. Push into the ground. Extended plank. Maybe I should name this video Lots of Plank Pose. Lower down halfway. Untuck the toes. Push into the hands, upward facing dog. And then roll back into your downward facing dog. You can set your hands back to a sort of normal position for you. And we're going to roll into our plank. And then we're going to roll to the outer edge of your right foot and the inner edge of your left foot, coming into a version of side plank. So we're going to push into that shoulder and then make sure we're not collapsing. Index finger and the thumb. Make sure the shoulder is tapped over the wrists. And then from there, we're going to bring that right knee up and into the side body, into your chest, and then you can extend it behind your leg and come back in, and then you can extend it in front of your leg and come back in. Or if you just want to take a side plank, you can do so. It's 2, 3, up as high as you can, 4, 5. And then from there, we're just going to step it sort of towards the top of the mat. And we're going to pivot the feet open, heels in. We're going to come into a horse stance. Now this is a little bit strange. I hope you enjoy this position. For your legs, we're going to work internal and external rotation in the hips. Then we're going to move in a full circumference all the way around the mat. Bear with me as I try to walk you through it. So as you come into this horse stance, we're going to internally rotate the left leg So the knee is now facing forward, and then we're going to drop that knee down to the ground. We're going to take our right foot as it is, and then we're going to step it out as wide as you need to be. You can take a few rocks into that right hip, and then from there we're going to lean that knee over the toes so it's tracking nice and firm. Push into the ground. You're going to stay low, bring that back leg up, step it across. So now we're back into that horse stance, but this time we're facing the top of the mat. And again, we're going to bend that pivot on to the knee, drop it inside the foot, and then we're going to step that right foot nice and wide. A few rocks into that hip, so we've got external rotation on that right hip, internal on that left hip, then shift a little bit forward, and then we're going to push into that foot and then step the left foot alongside to meet the right, and then we're back in horse stance, and I'm facing away from you, but we're going to drop that left knee in once again. Keep your balance, step your right leg out nice and wide, take a few rocks, and really opening up that hip flexor. And then we're going to lean into that right leg, push up, step that right left leg alongside to meet it. And we're really working the quads by staying nice and low. And then we're going to internal rotation, step that right leg nice and wide. Then we've got external rotation. And again, we're going to come up, stay nice and low, back into that horse stance. And we're going to do one more because we want to face the top of the mat. So drop that left knee in, push that right leg out, a few rocks from side to side, step that left foot outside the mat, meeting your right leg, and here we are in our horse stance. And from there you can slowly heel toe the legs in and then lower down onto your bums and onto your backs. Do some core work. So from here we're going to extend the legs nice and long, hover them off the table, or hover them off the mat, and bring your arms alongside your body. And from there we're going to windmill the arms up and over the head, bring the feet up, and then bring your arms up as high as you can. Chest should be up, lower back pushed into the ground, navel to the spine, and then we'll lower down and come back around. 1, 2, 3, keep moving, 4, make sure that lower back is in the ground, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. And from here you can bring your knees into your chest, you can take a few breaths, you can rock up and meet in your squat at the top of the mat, and you can go into your own crow pose, you can step back into downward facing dog, or if you'd like to give yourself a little bit of a challenge, you can bring your feet over your head when you come back, and as you rock forward you want to bring your feet right into your bum, rolling into your squat. You can place your hands down, shifting into your crow pose, and then from there shoot the feet back. I'm going to step back onto my mat, coming into your high plank, lower down into your low plank, push up into your up dog, and then roll back into your downward facing dog. And now we've got all that to repeat on the other side. So from here we're going to shift forward into your plank pose and shift onto the outside edge of your left foot, inside edge of your right, and then place your left arm up, right arm up. And as I said, it's perfectly fine to hold this side plank variation. If you want, you can come onto the inside edge of your right foot and you can bring your left knee up into your chest, step it behind you, up into the chest, and then in front of that leg. To the chest, behind, chest, in front. Move with the breath. 3, 4, and there's 5. And from there, I'm just going to step that left leg to sort of face the top of the mat. Bring that right foot in a little bit so the heels are in, the feet and toes are out. And we're going to sink down into our horse stance. This time you've got the back side of me, but I will face you eventually. And then from there, we're going to go and spin the other way this time. So the right knee is going to take that internal rotation. The left leg is going to come out to the side, facing away from the top. You can pulse into that left hip, staying nice and low, making sure the knee's tracking over the toes. Shift the weight up, step that right foot outside, coming into your horse stance. You can take a few pulses there if you'd like, and then internal rotation of that right knee. Step the left leg out, take a few pulses. This one's been a particularly fun pose to work through and talk about. Shift the knee forward, outside, coming into your horse stance. I sort of worked it out the other week, and I was really eager to get into putting it in a video for you guys. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope it works into your quads and your hip flexors. Pulsing into that left hip. Again, shift that knee forward, push into the ground, step it outside, coming into your horse stance. And from there, pivot in internal with the right, step the left foot out. And again, just a few bounces. Now we've made our full circle, push up. We've got one more to go, and we face the top of the mat. So internal rotation, step to the outside. From there, shift into that hip, push up, and here we are, horse stance at the top of the mat. And here we can heel toe the feet in, and then slowly lower our bums down. Place the hands behind you, and here we are again. Extend the feet away. Bring the arms alongside the body. And I've got ahead of myself there. And sweep the arms up, overhead, bring the feet up, and bring your hands towards your feet. Lower back down, and swing around. I like to call these, I don't know, arm circles, I guess. So there's two. If you're starting to feel that your lower back is leaving the ground when you come into this position, just lift your legs a little bit higher. 3, 4, 5, 6, keep moving, 7, 8, keep breathing, 9, last one, 10, bring the knees up into the chest, gently rock forward and back, place your feet down. This time we're not going to do the roll up, we're going to do some raises, so reverse tabletop raises. You can have your hands facing away from you, or you can have them facing forward to open up the shoulders a little bit more. You're going to bring your feet around shoulder width, maybe a little bit more apart, and then from there we're going to push into the hands, open up the chest, push into the heels, squeeze the glutes, and raise the hips up to the sky. And lower back down. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure those glutes are engaged as you come up. Make sure you're pulling the shoulders onto the back body as you raise the hips up to the sky. And if you're really missing plank pose, feel free to start the class again and work that sequence at the beginning. So from here, I'm going to turn to face you. You face whatever way you want on your mat, and you're just simply going to bring your right foot in, tuck it into the best you can, so alongside your body, and then we're going to step our left leg up and over the right leg. Now I'm simply going to grab the outside edge of my leg, pull it into my body and make my torso nice and tall. So on the inhale, extend up, and then I'm going to actively push my left hip into the ground. I feel a nice deep stretch here in the outside edge of my glute. I'm going to interlace and lock my hands and my wrists. I'm going to inhale, I'm going to extend, and exhale, I'm going to twist and open up just a little bit more. And from there, just a brief counter stretch So switch over to the other side, and then we're going to swap the lacing of the legs. So bring your left leg in, step your right leg over, and just reach round, grab your knee, interlace your wrists, and inhale, we extend the chest, bring the head to the sky, and then you exhale, twist, and actively push that right hip down this time. And you feel a nice stretch on the outside edge of your glute. I like to push my left knee into my left ankle, my right ankle, and my right ankle against my left knee to feel a little bit more of a stretch. Gaze over that right shoulder. And from there, I'm going to unlock my legs. I'm going to grab a block, sit down, and say thank you. So yeah, thank you for joining me here at A Moment to Move. I hope this was a nice, strong yoga for strength sequence that you enjoyed. I like to feel we've worked the full body, we've worked the upper body in the first stage of the class, then we got really into the legs and opening up our mobility, then we worked the core, and then at the same time, right at the end there, with a reverse tabletop, we worked into the back just a little bit more, and at the same time release some of that shoulder tension that you may or may not have been feeling. So thank you. Thanks for joining me here at A Moment to Move. And yeah, if you like it, please leave a comment or hit that like button and just let me know how this class was for you. And I'll be sure to catch you on the next one. Thanks for joining me at A Moment to Move.